What up, and welcome to A2thaShow with me, your host, A2thaMo. I don't even know if it's a host. I think it's a fucking played out terminology, probably. You're a host, but I mean, this is just my fucking room. Just letting you in my life. Did Tom Green host the Tom Green show, or was he the Tom Green show? Those are the deep questions. We're going to keep our deep thoughts going from last week. Last week was one of my favorite episodes. If somehow you missed it, it was Skinny. I would recommend it. I don't know. There's something that was so funny to me about I hyped up. I have this real deep thing I want to talk about. And then I don't even talk about it well. Where I'm like, where I was like, who are you? I was trying to say like, you're your soul inside your body, operating this fucking biological machine. I was trying to get to something like that. But I don't know if it really resonated with Skinny. And then at the end of the episode, he's like, did we ever talk about that deep? Like he totally forgot about it within 30 minutes. So it was so good. Also fun TikTok videos. I have too high of a bar now for future episodes about doing this. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Also, I'm nervous. My microphone's not loud enough. The last few episodes, I feel like I haven't got me loud. So I'll try to make sure it is loud enough. Out there, let me know if there's any issues. I'm a fucking idiot, so I will take any notes. I've been doing it a little while, but I fuck up all the time. There are a lot of stuff going on in the world, but in my personal life, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago that I was gonna have this new cousin move into town, and for me, I'm an only child myself, but I have a lot of cousins. My mom has one sibling and 5 step siblings, and then my dad has 7 siblings. So that leads to a lot of, they all have, I don't think any of the other ones are only children, but me. And so yeah, there's just like a lot. I'm sure there are, but there's just a lot of cousins, like dozens and dozens of cousins, and some people don't get it. Some people totally do, if they're in the same scenario. But anyway, so I have a cousin's kid who moved to the town I live in to go to college, which is the reason I moved to this town as well. And I talked about this in episode 9. Go back and check it out if you want. I probably didn't say too much. I'm just too fucking honest. And, I don't remember what I talked about. But anyway, met this kid's name's Cam. I have to call him Cam because I have another cousin named Cameron. And so I don't want to get too confused. Now, who would get confused? Who would I talk to that know both of them? No one. So it's probably not that big of a deal. But anyway, I meet Cam. He's, here at college. Now, they have these 3-day orientations now to start off college. And maybe mine did too. I don't, it's hard to remember that far back. I got kicked out of the dorms pretty early on. And so my whole first semester was kind of fucked. But anyway, they have these like late orientations. I don't realize it's going that long. But, we're like, yeah, we'll take you out to dinner. And, it was like 8 o'clock at night by the time they got done, which I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that's crazy that the college is like, yeah, we're going to have a whole day planned till 8 p.m. So anyway, took him out to eat a catfish place I like in town. And I felt a little bad because I was like, where you want to go? And he was like, anything, which of course he's, got good manners, good kid, it seems. And so we go get catfish and then he orders a burger there. So I just felt bad that when we went to a catfish place and he got a burger. But he seemed happy enough. He said very polite, definitely weighs maybe 70 pounds. He's a skinny kid. And it's also something that really strikes me. Family or whatever. I said my mom has step siblings and their last name is Busby. I mean, I don't want to give too much away about their life, but that's what I keep saying to myself. Like, he just looks like a Busby. It's not his actual last name, but he looks like my grandpa and all my uncle. Like the genetics are strong in the family, I guess. And so that's been interesting. So anyway, yeah, we took him out to dinner. He was really nice. My wife is way better at talking to kids, well, he's 18 or whatever, but y'all get what I mean. And so anyway, he was cool. And then today, actually, the day of me recording this, he hit me up. He needed a ride to Wal-Mart. I told him if he ever needed a ride or anything like that, just hit me up. So he needed a ride. So after I got off work, I picked him up. We went to Walmart. He got a few things. And when we were going to leave, this is the only reason I'm telling this story. To be honest, if this next thing didn't happen, I probably wouldn't even talked about this. I'd have left it as like a family affair and figured it out later. But we're going to leave. We're towards the self-checkout line. and there is a fucking fist fight in Walmart. And now I have not seen a fist fight up close in a while. You know, of course, I see them on TikTok almost every day. But I should have pulled out my phone. I had time to pull out my phone and record it. I can't believe I didn't, but I'm just not built. I'm not of the generation that you just record fights. I was totally in like, we're enjoying this fight I didn't even think about it till right now. Like, I'm so pissed at myself now because it would be playing right here and I'd be like, I saw but yeah, so we're going there and me and Cam talked about it afterwards. So I think we basically had the exact same interpretation of everything. But there's these two guys, both bigger than me. You know, I weigh about 250. About 5'11", 5'10", 5'11" on a good day, I guess. So I'm not small by any means. They're both larger than me. I would say both taller and wider. They look like they have blue collar jobs, muscular but fat. You know, y'all know the look. Like they look strong as fuck. One was probably my age. He had a bald head with a dark goatee, white guy. And then the other guy was a little tanner, but definitely still a white guy. Older, gray hair, gray goatee, maybe beard, whatever. Grayish stuff going on though. And so when we kind of see on the corner of our eye, they kind of bump into each other. And then everyone's head like feels a tension of a fight. And everyone's head goes, they're about 4 foot into the Walmart, by the way. They've just gone through the second set of the double doors. And I don't know. To me, there's something funny. Like the air conditioner hit them and they just fucking let it go. But I thought it was like a guy who knew another guy that bumped into him and was like, hey, you fuck or whatever. You know, I don't know. I just was like, guys fucking around because they're like the same size. There was something about that too that was interesting because they were so large. And then the old guy starts going, that's assault. That's assault. And everyone at that moment, like everyone in the vicinity, everyone that was in the self-checkout area, I saw workers sprint towards me to just watch. Like they were like, oh fuck, I ain't missing this. It was like everyone knew a fight was about to happen. Cam's definitely watching everything. He's like, this is his first trip to Walmart in the town we're in. So it was a fun memory. But yeah, so these guys fight. It's very quick. Like I said, they're probably each 300 pounds, but not all fat, you know, looks like muscular type guys. And it's so slow. This is like the heavyweights, right? I mean, they are just, it is the slowest fucking punches you've seen. Now, me and Cam both interpreted that the gray-haired old man started it. That's how we felt in the moment. Like he was the one that was yelling, that's assault, and he was getting in the other guy's face. It felt like, you know, and then when they fought, gray-haired guy ripped the other guy's shirt. It was, you know, like a tank top. So that dude was just all, you know, shirtless in his fight. And he was, I'm a fat guy that has some athletic abilities or used to. I don't do shit anymore. But, you know, I have like the kind of quickness in moments and stuff like that. And so I related to that. Like this guy had that Bam Bam Bigelow bounce, if you will, where he looked like he could move around, right? And I think the old guy got more than he bargained for, if you will. So young guy, 2 pieces him in the face, if not more, but they were slow. They hit heavy, but they were very slow. So they weren't quick punches. So it didn't look like it done a lot of damage, you know. But the gray-haired guy then runs away. I mean, he just runs away halfway the other side of the Walmart down towards customer service. And then the younger guy is all like looking around like, yeah, what the fuck's up? You know, feeling himself because he just want to fight in a fucking Walmart in front of a public audience. And yeah, it was fantastic. And then everyone kind of just went about their business. One family, a lady with her like 3 daughters, all teenaged, they turned around horrified. They were in the self-checkout area, like 12 foot from where the fight's happening. And like during it, they were so disgusted. They left it and just walked back towards the store. Like, we're getting away. We're getting out of here, which is exact opposite of, you know, how some of us other white trash people were just staring at them. So anyway, Cam was like dinner and a show because he was picking up his dinner and shit. So yeah, it was that was a fun memory. You know, I just haven't seen a fight. Like I said, I'm fucking pissed that I don't have that Gen Zer in me that like just films the fight, or the young millennial or whatever age group knows that you pull out the camera and start recording. I don't even know. It probably took me forever to get my camera, but I've never opened my camera on my phone. So anyway, that was pretty fun. I gotta say, good memory of the day. One of these weekends, I plan on trying to hang out with Cam, and I'm just an old man. He's a young person. also there's this like weird other side. I don't want to say just me my listeners or some shit, but I am kind of, I think I'm pretty cool. I got the beats and the raps and the video games and all the cool shit that would appeal to a certain person. And so I don't want to be a distraction to someone's education by being like, oh yeah, look at this cool shit. So I'm just like, I'm gonna help him out, try to be a cool mentor like figure. Yeah, we might become friends. I'm not against it necessarily, but also I don't really talk to a lot of my family, so I don't. I don't want people to know too much about me, through this. So, but I think it'll be good. I have good vibes. Like I say, he's very nice, respectable. He seems excited about school, which I think is a big part that a lot of people are missing when they go to college. I know school probably wasn't top of my list at first. I was fucking around, but I think if you're like, you're here to get something that's going to get you a job, like that is the best way to go back. If anyone's listening, you're going to go to college. You need to be going with a career in mind. I just went because everyone was like, you got to go. I got a math degree because it was easy. I also had an uncle that claimed he was going to give me a job. It just all fell through about 3.5 years into my pursuing of that degree. And, but I think like my wife went to be a teacher, and now sometimes it's very hard, especially in the state we're in. I might talk about that in a little bit. But it gave her like a goal. And right now that she does, she's like, I have to do this, which I guess that part sucks. But it's better than having a degree and not using it, I say. It's an expensive fucking piece of paper for nothing. I could just lie. I can just lie on a LinkedIn. No one will even check it. That's another thing. You could lie about it. I have a math degree. I'm not that good anymore. I think I could teach it, if I got a refresher, but I don't want to. I don't, fuck these kids. In that sense, in like teaching them things way. Oh, here's a super random. I want to get to it because it's still hot out there. It's summer, and you might be in the same position I'm in. Now, the thing I got to be somewhat embarrassed about is I may have mentioned this last year or the year before, but this has happened to me before. But we are in August of the summer, a very hot summer here in Oklahoma, probably everywhere, to be honest. I'm sure everyone's feeling it. But the max AC setting, all right, my car, I drive an old car. Go check out my song Foreign Whip. That old cover may be up still somewhere of it. If not, I'm sure I'll pop it up here and you'll get a good picture of my car. So yeah, my fucking Foreign Whip is very cool, except when you don't have the max AC on. So there's like an AC button and then like another little like circulation button, but like etched into the plastic of the console, or I don't know the fucking terminology. I'm not a car guy, but you like it has like a bracket connecting them, and then it says max AC. And I owned the car for years before I noticed this. It was like, motherfucker. And I remember at that time I talked about it on a podcast because I was like, I'll never forget if I talk about it on a podcast. And then guess what happened? I fucking forgot. So then I'm driving down the road this week, and all of a sudden I just read it. I go, max, what the fuck? And I don't have that second button click. So as soon as I click it, the fucking air conditioner gets ice cold, or the AC, I guess I should say, or it felt ice cold to me in the moment. And I was like, what the fuck? I've been missing out. Now I use it all the time. I'm burning through gas like crazy. So I don't know. I think maybe it uses more gas that way. But yeah, I thought my air conditioner was awesome. And then I get my wife's car. I drive it somewhere the other day, and it's a lot newer than mine. And it's like within 15 seconds, it's ice cold. And I'm like, oh yeah, my car's old and shitty. But you know what? I'm not in cool car club. I'm in, we're going to ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off club. That's what I'm trying to do with a car. I don't understand the iPhone trade-in mentality of car. I guess cars predated, but this whole like, we got to keep trading in your car to get a new car. I don't give a shit. I don't even fucking like cars. They just get me to the place we're going. Some look cool, I guess. But then you tell me how expensive they are, and they don't look that cool. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just my generation. Kids these days don't even get fucking licenses. They don't even give a shit. They're like, I'll take an Uber. So anyway, shout out the AC, max AC. Check your max AC settings out there, people, in your car. You might be missing out like I was. It was not a good time. All right. I mentioned some school shit, so I'm going to talk about this very quickly. But in the state I'm in Oklahoma, they passed this no phones in schools bill or whatever the fuck. So new rule in school, no more having phones. Now, I personally have been saying for years they should do this. Now, I'm not the only one. Everyone was saying that shit. But when I got a cell phone when I was 15, when I got in driver's ed, and I got flip phone. Actually, I can't remember. Yeah, no, it wasn't a flip phone at first. It was a Nokia. It was not the one with snake on it that everyone, the green screen one. It was the first like colored because like I had 8 colors and a camera, but it was I believe it was a Nokia. Had a bowling game on it and a skydiving game. I remember that. So I remember getting my cell phone, but if we got caught with it out in class, it did get taken and then you got it back at the end of the day. So basically I grew up with the rules of like no cell phones in class. And again, that's only at 15, so just a couple years there. But these kids, over the years, I have a wife that is a teacher, and so you've heard the horror stories, or some of them have happened, some of them just happen to other people. But it's like a teacher tries to take their phone because it's out in class, and then the mom calls of like, we paid a lot of money for that phone. It's just it's all parents' fault. Basically, parents just enable their kids. But anyway, Oklahoma passed this law, so now everyone's like, well, it's a law. You can't have your phone out in class. And now I'm sure some teachers let it slide or even don't care at all. But a lot of people are sticking with it. And from all stories I've heard so far, it is very beneficial. Like the kids, it's almost like an addict that knows they're addicted to something and they know they need rehab. And they're like, yes, please send me to rehab. It's almost like the kids knew they needed to get off their phones. So it's not even the school my wife works at. It's also, there's a lot of neighboring schools as well. And I've seen their posts where it's just like the kids are all playing cards and dominoes and shit at lunch break. Like they're just not even on their cell phones. So they're all playing games together. They talk about the kids are talking to each other in the hallways more and just communicating in general. So it's like literally within 2 weeks, and it's like an immediate everyone noticing the benefit. So it's just it is a very interesting thing. I know a lot of states have done it. I saw a thing in Sweden, or some study out of Sweden that was like, you should take all computers out of the classrooms. Or maybe not all, but like all the personal, like Chromebooks and shit, and how it is just more distracting because the kids retain more if they were at it anyway and shit like that. So there's a good chance we might all be going back, which does make sense because it never made sense to me that you just give a kid a giant screen to distract them, for the whole hour or whatever. Like sometimes you might need those things, but for every day, every class, it does seem a little bit overkill. So that's a good news in the school. Now, bad news, my state has maybe the worst state superintendent in the country. He was like a social studies teacher that ran on like, we're going to get this pornographic books out of schools or whatever. Like, because there was that one book that talked about sex and in Florida, some teachers were teaching it. And then that led to basically the whole country being like, we got to ban these books, which I think they reacted a little bit. But yeah, he kind of ran that wave. Plus also, if you're in Oklahoma and you're just a Republican, you are going to win any election. It just does not matter. As long as you win the Republican nomination, that's the battle. And then once you're a Republican, they put you on a ballot. Oklahoma is one of the last few states that have straight party voting. They can just go in and select an R as the first option on the ballot, and then every Republican on the ballot just counts. They can also do it for Democrats, but people don't. Not here. They would rather just the state keep failing year after year and then blaming the federal government as opposed to making any sort of change to the state government. It's very cool. It's very cool to live here. But yeah, our state superintendent made it worse. He's trying to make the 10 Commandments be in every school. And then he also wants a Bible in every classroom. And he wants the curriculum to be teaching the Bible and the history of Christianity. Like, now, I understand it's like, I don't know, it's fashion. I don't know what it is whenever you're like, you force your religion on your people, your citizenship or whatever, but whatever that is, that, that's one thing. But also a lot of the teachers, I don't know, even like where here, like I have friends from high school that are teachers in different places over the state, and they're like super liberal. And I'm like, you don't want them to be the ones that teach your kids about Jesus. Like, I don't think you're going to get the message you want. So also, just we grew up in a time, and I say we as in me and I'm guessing whoever's listening, where that stuff was just dealt with at home. Your religious stuff wasn't really taught. I remember the first time I met an atheist kid in 4th grade. He was a new kid, and I'm sure other kids were, but they didn't know what the fuck it was. But he like proudly was like, my family are atheists. And like everyone was like, they're demons. Like that's what little dumb Baptist kids thought, in Southern Oklahoma. So I don't know. I get everyone's here is going to be very biased and twisted and stuff like that towards like, the religion they grew up with. That's how everyone is, not just here. I mean, everyone, if you grew up with it, there's a good chance you're going to have some sort of cognitive dissonance if anyone speaks against it. That is human nature. But anyway, our superintendent, Sean passed a lot of stuff. He also got caught with at first it was reported pornography on a TV during some sort of meeting. And then someone else, they tried to settle on the story of it was on the Samsung free TV channels that are on a Samsung TV, which I've had one, so I know what they're talking about. And that Jackie Chan movie, can't remember what it was playing, and that happened to have a bare-breasted nude scene, and that's what people saw. And then the sort of liberals and the teachers of our state were like, yeah, but if that happened to a teacher's room, you wouldn't care about their excuse. You would fire them, and you deserve to get fired. Now, of course, he's not going to agree to that, but that was a good clapback, if you will. So anyway, a lot of people are upset. Even our Republican governor has come out and spoke against him. So it's he doesn't really have full support, I guess, in the party, but it's just, I can just see him being the guy that's going to be on South Park or who they reference with the whole Bibles in school and shit, because that's what he's preaching. And then he also wants, it's not even just normal Bibles, it's Trump Bibles, which is the Constitution's printed in the front and then the Bible. And then they charge $50 a piece for it. And you're like, well, you could get both of those things separately for a lot less money. Why are we? And you're like, oh, he knows the guy that owns the company that prints the Trump Bibles. And, it's just stuff like that. He also was trying to pass some charter school thing in which the company was actually out of Arizona, not Oklahoma. So that kind of fell through, but he kept trying to force something through. So anyway, y'all, if anywhere else in the world, you don't know about Ron Walters, but he fucking sucks. So that's catching up on Oklahoma news. And we'll try to be more fun in the future. But first, I got to play a song because it's been too long, the episode. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking. All right, first we're going with, you know what? After the first 10 episodes, but we're going to see how long we can keep this going. I think he deserves the honor as much as Graveyard represents the podcast, shares us, tries to spread us out there. Appreciate it very much. So, of course, we're going with Sir Nasty and the nasty motherfucker, him. And the name of the song is Date Night. And I guess I got to pull it up here. I'm over here just fucking around. Let's see what I could. There we go. That's my cue, as y'all see. So Date Night, Sir Nasty, let's give it a listen.
How's Friday?
Friday night's perfect. That's the best night of the week for me. So Friday night at 8 o'clock.
Friday night at 8.
Oh, great. And I'll see you Friday night.
I got myself a date. Friday night at 8. And I will not be late. She might be my mate. That would be so great. Great, 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 great. And I can hardly wait.
Yeah. The Mo makes beats.
Here we go again. She loves me. She loves me not. Is it real love? It's probably not. It's probably not. She wanna get that money, so this what she got. Okay. Wake up and smoke a blunt and take a shot. Riding as the moon shines through the roof. Sipping on some moonshine, 100 proof. On the way to see my date. It's Friday night at 8, and I cannot be late. Pull up to the estate as I enter the gates. She led me to the kitchen as I watched that ass shake. She said she finna make lobster tails and steak. So yeah, that's what we ate. But that ain't all I ate. Nasty. Cabernet by the lake. Yeah, shawty got that cake. I left icing on the cake. Nasty. What the fuck? I love a boy, but I ain't Drake. Come on. Nasty is a gangster. Put that on Gangsta Snake. Come on. I put that on Jolly. I put that on Yates. She said I wanna get married. I said I need a break. God damn. Them niggas hate cause they know I'm great. Underground king, nigga, checkmate. I ain't put no pressure on you. You can suck me if you want to. Fuck me if you want to. I ain't put no pressure on you. You can suck me if you want to. Fuck me if you want to. Yeah, she's everything I ever wanted. She told me I could have a heart if I want it. If you can do better, then do it then. She went through a phase and told me she was through with me and acting brand new again. Pick up the phone, it's you again, trying to be my boo again. I thought your girl was moving in. Okay, so what you doing then? Now you cheating on her. Some things we can't do again. Some shit I won't do again. Come on. You was doing shit and got caught, but you won't never take the blame. It's everybody's fault. I know. and tell everyone that's close to you that I'm the reason you ain't doing what you supposed to do. Whatever, lyrical crack, I'm still selling drugs. Home want you back, that's what I'm telling cuz. She met a ball player, then the bitch fell in love. Yeah, the bitch fell in love. But this nigga got a whole wife. She stripping again, she back to her old life. And I threw a few dollars on her. I've been keeping it gangster my whole life. So much for
I
date
ain't put
night.
no pressure on you. You can suck me if you want to. Fuck me if you want to. I ain't put no pressure on you. You can suck me if you want to. Fuck me if you want to.
Sir Nasty with Date Night, I believe was the name of that one. Now, the sample from, I'm guessing Nutty Professor, I'll be honest. That's what my mind said, but now when I was about to say, I was like, oh my God, if I'm wrong about this. I really love the sample there. And then the song's like Gangster is fucking like about it. You know, the vibes are not like him excited about dating a woman. It's like, I don't know how true any of it is. I kind of hope it's all true. And it's like very specific about people y'all all know over a graveyard. And you're like, God damn, he really went there. But I don't know. I don't know the story behind it, but I do like it. Very cool. Also, I like anyone using my beats, of course. Sir Nasty, one of the best to do it. And got to keep making beats out there. Now, I have so many things I even forgot in the first segment. I feel like I went too long on way too many stuff. But I'm going to get sidetracked real quick. I tried the streaming again this week when Skinny was here. We were making beats. It was a fucking mess, to be real honest. I'm really down on the streaming. It might not happen anytime soon. You know, you have these hurdles, if you will, but I spent a lot of time getting this all set up to where we can get a stereo recording in my beat making process. You know, that just means you can get the left and right channels separated and all that, because I think that's important to when you're making beats. And the only way I could get it to capture the audio before was only getting it in mono. And so like that was an issue. And so I spent all week doing that. And then I was all excited. I was like, hey, Skinny will come over and we'll make some fucking beats. Made a couple beats there. All right. Not too bad. But I had to mute my microphones, or else the microphones are going to pick up, you know, the beats coming out of the speakers. Now, if Skinny wasn't here, I could have turned all that down and just wore headphones. But, you know, Skinny said, we're going to fucking listen to the goddamn beats. And so I would mute the mic so it wouldn't, you know, pick up the feedback or whatever there. And then when I would go to say something, I'd forget the mic's mute. So it's just like, you can hear all the beats, or you could, but you got none of the talking. And I do feel like for whatever reason, the streaming aspect of just hitting record and having to like kind of pay attention while doing your stuff, I just don't know if I'm made for it. Maybe not yet. Maybe if someday I ever had some sort of fan base and it was planned or something, maybe I could do it. But I think I'm going to stick with this where I record videos, I do a little post-production, and I upload the video on YouTube. So if we do in the future record us hanging out while doing it, it's just going to be, I'll like chop it up in post production and put up if I do it, you know. So, but there's another part of me that I don't want to do it, you know, because like the making the beats is like a fun thing for me and myself. And am I tainting it or ruining it by that? I also think the same about some video games. And I like doing the little A2thaMo plays videos I've done on the podcast channel, where I can kind of deep dive or show, you know, some fun shit I'm doing. But I don't want to do that with every game I play, you know. So I'm about to talk about some video games real quick. And I will have little videos I record of like small parts I play, but I don't want to do like a whole video about these games. I don't know. I know if it was that deep, if you will. And one of them I might, we'll see. So anyway, those were my streaming thoughts out there. Just keeping everyone up to date. No rush to follow me anywhere on the streaming. I'm going to keep it on the YouTube for now. All right. Video games. I think there's two I'm going to talk about this week. Well, I was going to first say I've still been playing a little bit of College Football 26. I don't think it was because I played last year's game and I played a lot of it. I don't think I should have got this year's game. You know, I wasn't begging for it enough, if you will. I wasn't hedging for it. So I played it. It was fine. I think it's worse than last year's in a lot of ways. It's a lot harder. Now, because I mentioned the hard thing I've been playing on all American difficulty. So there's like, whatever the fucking easy ones are. Varsity's normal, and then all American's hard, and then Heisman's like very hard. So I've been playing on the hard setting, and the game's fucking hard, and so it's very frustrating. And you throw a lot of interceptions. A lot of times you can still win. And so they give you chances to come back or whatever. But, there's a lot of frustrating moments, and it's cheap, and your fucking linemen suck. And there's just a lot of issues with the game. But I got tired of that the other day when I was playing it, and I just put it down on Varsity. And then I won by like 8 touchdowns. And I was like, well, there has to be a better medium than me winning by 8 touchdowns or me like barely scraping by or losing, like those are the two options of these. So I don't know. It's bullshit. So I don't know what I would rate it. Maybe 6.5. Maybe that's my good. I really do want to start rating things more. Maybe at the end of the year, I'll like go back and rate everything I played this year or something for like around Christmas episode, because no one listens to those anyway. That's an idea. Jot it down, future me. And so anyway, it's 6.5. That's my off the bat thought of the new NCAA football. Now, I got me a few TikTok views over at A2thaShow on TikTok. Go follow me there. So I do appreciate it for that. But it isn't it this year. It isn't it. It doesn't feel good to play. It feels frustrating. So that's my thought there. Sorry, guys. I was so thirsty there. So the next one on my list is called Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. And this is a game by a company called Don't Nod. And this is probably, I'll be honest, I want to say the gayest game, but I know like that's mean and people don't like that terminology, but I don't mean it in a mean way. If this is just like the most LGBTQ friendly fucking game I've played in a long time, it's definitely not a typical game I would play, but I was drawn to it in some ways. I had a podcast listener, hopefully he listens, I don't know, he used to, say it was really good. I hit him up when I started playing. I was like, yeah, sorry, man. So I was like, off his recommendation, and I've seen people talk about it, I'll give it a shot. And like I said, the company is called Don't Nod. They made this other game series called Life is Strange, and I played Life is Strange 1 and happened to love it. Now, I've played some of their other games and didn't like it as much. But anyway, so I gave this game a shot. Now, I didn't have to pay for it. That's another big thing. I have PlayStation Plus Extra or whatever. And so that it was just a game that was added a couple months ago or whatever. So it added 2 parts. The first part I think was Bloom, second part's Rage. And it came out like 2 different release dates or whatever. But I think I have the whole game. I haven't launched the second part yet. Anyway, I started this game. Hopefully, I'll have some video here playing some shit of it. But you play as this ginger lesbian teenager in 1995. So that's what I mean. Like, it's, very, I don't want to say it's like a woke game that's going for a certain thing, but it's like my wife reads a lot of books, or she used to. She's kind of slowed down a little bit. But, she would notice, and not in a bad way, but just like, oh, man, there's like a lot more a gay love book, like that's just a way bigger. So like, eventually, it's going to happen. Now, I think they're just telling the story. I don't think they're forcing it. I think this company, it's probably their lived experience or whatever. It doesn't feel forceful to me when I'm playing the game. Like it feels natural, I guess I'm gonna say. But anyway, you're this red-haired, shy, nerdy girl, like I said, chubby. You're into girls, and it's like the summer before you move from this town. You make friends with these other 3 girls. 2 of them have a band together, and then you're like a videographer. And 1995, the main thing that really brought me to this game was I saw a clip of you can make a beat in the game. So there's like a part where you're making the drum, you're using the drum machine to make like the drums for their music. And I was like, well, that's badass. When I got to it, I'll be honest, it was a big letdown. It was basically like, here's 4 options for each instrument. Choose how you want the combination. So as someone who makes beats, I was like, man, I thought I was gonna get to fucking pull up the goddamn DAW, let's go. But the game is sweet. It's very slow at the start. It's all, one girl's the hot crazy one, one's the smart one, one's the cool one, and you're the nerdy one that's in love with all of them. I'm assuming like your choices will depend on how the story goes. Now, my big complaint with it, I would say, is you're also playing like the adult timeline. Like nowadays, and then you were remembering back to then. So it's the same problem I have with Assassin's Creed, where it's like, now we're Desmond in the future, but now we're going to go back in time to just fucking choose your timeline and let's just do that. I don't know what fucking benefit this, like, we're also in the future thing does. I would have just preferred playing it chronologically, like the first part. Now I understand they have some artistic reason, but I just personally do not care much. So that's my thought on Lost Records Bloom Range. I want to finish it. I really do, because I think I'm 5 hours in. I think I looked online. It's about 15 hours to beat it. We'll see. I have a lot of other games on the horizon. So we'll see if I stick with it or not. I want to, but it isn't gripping me necessarily. And I wanted my wife to play it because I'm like, oh, it's like a teenage girl in the 90s story. You'll like this. But she looks at it and is like, well, it's just choosing stuff. Like, she's new to gaming, and she's like, I don't. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of like the equivalent of reading a book or watching a TV show. It's a different sort of gaming experience. And opposite of that, a game I've been playing that just came out the day before I'm recording this, so I don't give away what date I'm recording this, I guess, is a game called A Sword of the Sea. I almost said Sea of the Sword. And it came to PlayStation Plus Extra as well. So another one I didn't necessarily pay. I paid for a yearly subscription to PlayStation Plus Extra, so it's not free, but it's part of the subscription. And I was really excited when this game was announced. So I didn't know this was going to be included. I was fully willing to pay $30 or whatever it was going to cost for this game. But it's from the guy that made Journey and the group that made Abzu, which I thought the group that made Abzu was the group that made Journey. But when they announced it, they actually like it was two separate teams coming together. But I don't know enough about it. But anyway, Journey is this game on PS3 I really liked. And anyway, Sword of the Sea, it really is a combination of those two games I just mentioned. My wife played Abzu. So Journey, you're like a little guy going through a desert, and then eventually a couple other landscape geography type places, but it has a certain look to it. And then Abzu, you're going through the ocean. And then in this game, you're like, at least the first level, you're going through a desert and turning stuff into the ocean. So I was like, man, if you play these other games, it is like they have a fucking thing, right? But the game is great. There's something about it. You just start and it doesn't explain anything. There's no fucking dialogue. It doesn't tell you any buttons, but it's not that difficult. And you have a sword that you ride around like a surfboard on the desert sand waves. That's like the first level. Second level is like a grotto. Eventually there's a snow level. There's a different looks to it. So I was having a lot of fun. You find areas and you light up all little lanterns in an area, and then you unlock a little secret path. And that's like a whole thing. So I guess it's a 3D platformer is what it feels like the most, but you ride around it like it's a Tony Hawk game or whatever. Cause you can like jump and do spins on your little sword, surfboard, skateboard thing. And I don't know, it's just a weird combination of shit, but it's really fun. Now, if I have to hate on it, now it's not even a hate. It's just this is how they design the game, I guess. But I beat the game in 3 hours, and that was with me pausing a lot and just sitting around. And that tells you how long it took at the end, because there's a trophy to beat it in under 2 hours. So I know that's doable. Probably not that hard even. And so the game is meant to be played multiple times. So you do like a new game plus, like one of my abilities I didn't even unlock to the second run through, which I just started today, because I beat the game. I did one run in the first day I owned the game, and I was like, oh shit. But there is a feeling of that, like that is kind of old school gamer shit. And I didn't pay any extra money for this. So if I would have paid $30 and then beat the game in 3 hours the day I got it, I probably wouldn't have been very happy. So, but because it was just included in the subscription, I'm like, this is great. I'm going to play it again. So it's interesting. It's just interesting lyrics. Like I said, it does feel good to play. So I wouldn't necessarily hate on it if I had paid extra for it or whatever. But the length of it was surprising. Like I fell asleep while fighting the end boss because that's what happens when I'm playing video games late at night, because I'm an old man that wakes up at 5:30 in the morning to walk my dog. And I was like all like nodding off and shit in this room, actually playing it on a projected screen back there. And once it was over and the credits were when I was like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, so I don't even really remember the end. I just remember there was a dragon trying to eat me or something like that. So I'm going to play through it again, but I liked it a lot. I would recommend it if you have PlayStation Plus Extra. If you had to pay for it extra, like standalone. I'd wait till it's cheap, just because it's so short. But yeah, those are my video game takes. And all right, my sports takes. I feel like I can fit some sports in quickly here, hopefully. Man, I'm fucking thirsty. I think it's out of the fan just blowing right on my face. You know, it's that CPAP machine thing again from last episode. Shout out Skinny's Bane Lady Fantasies. All right, in the sports world, a few things that I found interesting. ESPN buys the NFL network from the NFL, which was a TV channel and stuff, and the Red Zone and stuff like that. And in exchange, the NFL owns 10% of ESPN from Disney. I think it's crazy that a sports league owns part of the channel. I mean, I understand it's not politics, it's not government, it's not like an official thing, but there's something cool if there was like some it's not biased, you know, they're giving you the sport straight. But now, how could you believe it? Now, ESPN's always been under the umbrella of the NFL. Like Bill Simmons, one of my favorite podcasters back in the day, still pretty good, but he's definitely lost step. He got suspended because he would like hate on Roger Goodell, and they would suspend him at ESPN for like being mean to the NFL. So they've always, you know, kind of protected them because, you know, that's their big business or whatever. But it's a weird thing. I don't know. I think it's weird that the NFL will own part of ESPN. And then another NFL news. I don't watch the NFL. I know I've mentioned this all the time, but just so people know, I think it's rare for someone in Oklahoma not to watch football as much. And I'll watch a game here and there if it was on, but I'm not subscribing to shit to fucking watch it. I'll tell you that right now, God damn it. But NFL male cheerleaders. Now, there's these new male cheerleaders. I've seen it for the Vikings and for the Patriots. There may be more, but I've seen those. I think it's fucking weird as shit because it is really like they're forcing this thing to the NFL fans that no one's been clamoring for male cheerleaders. And here's the thing. I wouldn't even mind if they're male cheerleaders. And I still don't mind, to be honest. I don't give a shit. But I guess I find it interesting that the male cheerleaders, because the NFL cheerleaders aren't like competitive cheerleaders. They're more like a dance team cheerleader where it's like they're just doing their weird dance routines or whatever. So like these male cheerleaders are basically mimicking female cheerleaders. Like they're doing all the feminine movements and like, you know, just the weird dance routine stuff. Whereas, and I'm like, if these were like the college male cheer, like where it's like a yoked guy that was throwing a woman up and catching her, I think NFL fans could get behind that. They'd be like, fuck yeah, that's Charles, man. Charles fucking toss them bitches. But instead, it's like, no, we're going to go with like a very flamboyant guy that will probably doesn't seem to fit into the football. Now, maybe I understand that's like they're trying to change, but it's weird that something that's like, their whole goal is to make money and cater their fan base in some way. We go all the way and be like, nah, but we're going to make a change here in this one area. It just, that seems naive to think, you know, I don't know. There's something weird about it. That's all. I think if they were the big, I remember my wife watched that Cheer. I can't remember. I think it might have been called Cheer, but whatever it was on Netflix. And I was like, it was surprisingly good. But there were like the guys that were, you know, the big dudes that were launching and catching. And you're like, yeah, I get it. These guys are cool. Gay or non-gay, I don't care. But there's something about the guys just trying to be, they're trying to replace the female cheerleader, you know, where it's like, huh, it's interesting. It's interesting. Taking their jobs. All right, speaking of taking their jobs, or I guess not really of that, but I guess, alluding to a man acting feminine. So a female that acts manly, Brittney Griner in the WNBA. Now, she is most famous, I think, probably for getting arrested in a Russian airport with an old weed vape pen, and then they locked her in jail and cut off her dreads, and it was very traumatic for her. And then we traded the Lord of War, I think that was his nickname, some guy who sold a bunch of weapons out in the black market, traded him for her to get her freedom back. And then half of America was glad and half were not. I mean, something like that. I don't know the exact percentages, of course, of who was happy and not. But I think something that doesn't get talked about enough, because a lot of people get talk about trans people in sports, but they really only talk about trans women, like people that were born as a man and become a woman. They talk about them in sports, how it's unfair. But people very rarely talk about people born as a woman who become a man. And Brittney Griner, to my understanding, and I could be wrong, is a trans man, like got her boobs removed, does not wear a top in her pictures in a pool, and like wears male swimming trunks. for all intents and purposes, and it seems to, run the mill in their household. And no one ever brings up her as a trans man that's playing a woman's sport, which we would want, because the argument on the other way is that, we don't want these trans women competing against women. So they would want the trans women to compete against men. So that means they wouldn't want the trans men to compete against men. They want to compete against women. So it's just, I don't know. No one just talks about it. And she's very popular, or not popular, but famous, infamous, if you will. So she was a big deal when she was in college. I remember a lot about Brittney Griner when she was at Baylor. And not all good. I remember there was also some crazy stories back then. So, all right, my last thing about sports is I'm excited for basketball to come back to the NBA. I mean, it's not, I like the break. You need the break. You need the offseason to happen and all that so you can build up the excitement. But now the NBA is going to be on 7 days a week on some channel, like a national game, which is awesome. It's the dream. It's been doing that forever. But I have to get fucking Peacock. I love The Office. I didn't even get Peacock for The Office when they got it. I just bought the DVD set. But now that there's going to be 1 or 2 live games a week on Peacock, I have to get it. And I don't know of anything else to watch on that fucking streaming shit. So it's like, God damn it. I can't believe I'm about to fucking buy a streaming service for just a once a week viewing thing, So we'll see if I follow through with it or not. Basically, when the Thunder first play on Peacock and I can't watch it on any other place, it's going to happen. But I'm not happy about it. So reach out to me if you have Peacock and let me know what's good to watch. I know Twisted Metal's on there. It just doesn't look good. Sometimes you see a trailer and you're like, sure, I enjoyed the video game as a kid, but this fucking TV show does not look like it's it to me. Maybe I would just watch. The Office, I guess, has episodes that have the deleted scenes at a back end, so that'd be a reason to watch it. But my wife is probably not down or excited to watch The Office for the 1,000th time. But you know what? You marry a guy with a little bit of autism, that's what happens. All right? You're going to be rewatching some shit. All right, I'm talking way too. You know what? At least I'm getting more comfortable on the solo pods. That's the silver lining to some of this ranting. And also, I feel like just last week's episode with Skinny was so fun and we had drinking that anything I done this week would not be as fun. And now I feel like I have to be sounding so monotone and just real self-conscious right now, guys. But all right, I'm gonna play some shit. A song, that is. And then when we get back, I'll talk some more and then we'll be out of here. Next song we're going with is going to be from the homie Bradster X. And I was excited. He had a new song ready to go, and I was like, well, motherfucker, why don't you send it to us? And he put this out on his birthday, I believe. So I know it'll be late by the time I hear this, but go out there and reach Bradster X a happy birthday. Me and him, of course, put out an album together earlier this year called Bros. So that's my bro A2thaShow, and his new song here is called The Curse, leading into his Halloween vibes, it looks like. And also feel, I know I didn't start fucking AI images, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like I inspired all the people listening to this podcast and the way they make AI images, because I've noticed Brad's and also Graveyard's, and I'm like, I know I didn't make some of these, but it looks like I could have through AI. So I'm glad they've all figured it out, because I've been off my fucking AI for a minute, but I'll be back to you, y'all, you chat bots and image makers someday. All right, Bradster X, The Curse. Let me pull up some shit. I gotta get ready here. All right, let's give it a listen.
Feeling cursed every time I write a verse, like I'm rising up from hell when I emerge. Cursed since the first day on this earth, birth in a hearse, there ain't no mistaking the curse. It's the curse. Feeling cursed every time I write a verse, like I'm rising up from hell when I emerge. I'm feeling cursed. Cursed since the first day on this earth, birth in a hearse, there ain't no mistaking the curse. It's the curse taking over my mind, been seeing red lately. Thoughts left best and said are in my head daily. Can't stop until the victory's written. So crazy I've been eating babies with Hillary Clinton. They'll say I wish I didn't piss him off. Didn't know that he could spit this raw, bringing back the spirit of Crispin Wall. We're all gonna die, win, lose or draw. I've been living life getting high like there's no tomorrow. Shitting on your bitch door in a kickstand, more than she can withstand. Call me Mr. McMahon when I'm finished and I hit her with a bedpan.
muddy waters like I was Red Man. An evil aura that follows my every step will never let me forget. I think I'm out of my depth. I cannot keep it in check. I cannot put it in words. Wanna purge everyone I see in the universe. It's the curse, feeling cursed every time I write a verse, like I'm rising up from hell when I emerge. I'm feeling cursed. Cursed since the first day on this earth, birth in a hearse. There ain't no mistake in the curse. It's the curse, feeling cursed every time I write a verse, like I'm rising up from hell when I emerge. I'm feeling cursed. Cursed since the first day on this earth, birth in a hearse. There ain't no mistake in the curse. It's the curse. It's the curse, not sure of the origins. Full of sin, feel like I'll burst if I hold it in. When I feel a breeze, I swear it's a colder wind. Walk up to you with a grenade, ask you to hold the pin. Sinning like I'm stitching up darkness in the daylight. They might see me thinning, not victims in plain sight. If I see your ass, I'm asking that you hang tight. Skinning every witness, so women, children, and men alike. Ha! Didn't wanna do it, but I did it. Think I'm starting to like it, but I don't want to admit it. But who am I kidding? All these scars, born to be a villain. The curse, this ensures that I'm pure with my intentions. For nobody on earth is an exception. From my family to my girl to my best friends. Even took over my pen for this verse. No reverse, I'm immersed, no pretend it's a curse. It's the curse, feeling cursed every time I write a verse, like I'm rising up from hell when I emerge. I'm feeling cursed. Cursed since the first day on this earth, birth in a hearse. There ain't no mistake in the curse. It's the curse, feeling cursed every time I write a verse, like I'm rising up from hell when I emerge. I'm feeling cursed. Cursed since the first day on this earth, birth in a hearse. There ain't no mistake in the curse. It's the curse. It's the curse.
The Curse by Bradster X. That's new shit. Go follow him on your favorite streaming site, of course. And yeah, it's very Brad. I don't know if he like wrote that and before his little break here, or if it's like the first thing he's wrote since he's taken a break. But I know he has told me he's had a lot of dental issues, and that's kind of put him out of commission. It made it harder, and he's trying to get back into it. And I'm the same way. I've been trying to get back into it lately, and I've recorded a couple verses. I don't think they're good. You know, I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is it or not. I'll probably re-record them or whatever. But you gotta just keep on keeping on if you're gonna keep doing it. You know. So let's prayers up to brother Brad. Hopefully he gets them teeth fixed, and then we can get back to spitting the hard shit. Right now, it's having go a little easy because I think he's missing a tooth or something like that. I haven't really asked. I've knocked out my front teeth a couple of times and had to go get them fixed up, and I'm like so self-conscious about it when it happens. So I feel bad for people and their teeth. And it's just like the teeth are there just to fuck us, basically. You know, want to eat delicious stuff, your teeth are going to be fucked up. It's basically how it goes. Not only will you be fat and unattractive, we'll also fuck up your teeth. Fuck you, sugar. That's what I say. And I drank fountain drinks so long. And then people were like, yeah, but the straw goes past them. I was like, I don't know. I felt like I was doing it wrong. And then the cigarettes just right to the teeth. Now, my dentist, when I smoked cigarettes, he would be like, nah, cigarettes aren't a big deal. But that just made me think he probably smokes. He was like, your coffee and your Cokes are way bigger of a deal. I was like, yeah, all right. I won't quit any of it. I did quit cigarettes. Actually, this week was my 7th anniversary of not smoking cigarettes. And I don't do that pussy ass vape shit. So don't come at me with you fucking vapors claiming you quit smoking. No, you didn't. You fucking are just addicted to vaping. You know, I actually started out dipping originally. And then my grandpa showed me his gum that was all black. And I was like, oh, never mind. He smoked cigarettes at the time. Or he smoked those little mini cigars. They would look like cigarettes, but they were cigars. Winston's, I believe is what they're called. And they would burn your eyeballs as he was blowing them right in your fucking eyes. And anyway, quit cigarettes 7 years ago. I needed the help with Chantix. I couldn't do it alone. I needed the drugs. But it worked for me. I thought Chantix was off the market, but I looked it up not too long ago, and someone claimed it's back on the market. So if you need help, that's what I use. I've seen a lot of smokers be like, but suicidal thoughts. Yeah, motherfucker, I had them before. You know, just get over it. You'll be fine. And so I'd quit in less than 2 months on the Chantix. So I would recommend something like that if you needed it. Or if you can just do it, raw dog quit. Hell yeah, more power to you. Cigarettes are just so expensive. And really for me, it's like all the phlegm in my throat I was always hacking up with my fat ass. And now I still do a little bit, of course. but not as much since the cigarette stopped. And I mentioned a few episodes ago, but I do think the nicotine was naturally curing me a little bit of my ADHD stuff. And so I've gotten a little worse on that, but that's fine. It makes me more fun, more personality. I still want a cigarette sometimes after a big meal, or if I'm driving a long distance. I'm like, it'd be great right now. But in general, I do not think about it. And I haven't even succumbed to the pressure of just having one, someone will offer. But I'm like, nah, it's been so long. It's great. I guess I treat it like the sober people treat whatever fucking drug they're trying to be sober of. Cigarettes was my worst drug because it didn't do shit for me and just wasted money. At least other drugs, you get high and stuff. Not cigarettes. No. It is just there to take your money. All right, what else do I need to make sure I get? I just want to say, let's not forget about the Epstein stuff. I feel like it was a big deal there for a minute again, when it kind of came back. Then it's already kind of dying out again when it's like, yeah, their plan just worked to get people to not, I don't know. It's just crazy how for years and years, certain groups can run on like protect the children, and it's all the Clintons and the Epsteins. I think that's definitely a part of it, but then just ignore the like Trump and Epstein connection. And then whenever Trump's like, nah, who cares? It's not even a big deal. They're just going to kind of let it go. Now, not everyone is, but a lot of people are, because you get fatigued from any news story these days. That's just how like a more populist movement works, I guess, as you just keep move on to the next thing that's like popular to talk about as well, to entertain the people. But I don't know. It's pretty fucking crazy. Pretty crazy. Just, don't forget the Epstein shit. That's all. But word was Ghislaine Maxwell was getting out on the work release program. I don't know if that was fucking a fake story or if it was true, but it'd be nuts if it's true. There's this one black dude. I think he's an American. I don't really know, to be honest, but he claims he can turn recycled plastic into gasoline. And after he made this claim, he disappeared for a few weeks. And everyone's like, oh, the fucking man killed him. He was about to ruin the gas industry single-handedly. They had to take him out. And then he popped back up. It was like, no, I just went into hiding because I knew it was dangerous. But I'm back and here, I'm making the machine that does it. And I watched the whole video of his machine he claims turns plastic into gasoline. And I guess I just kind of feel like there's a good chance he's just conning people. I mean, he might be a complete genius and be able to figure it out. But it really reads like some guy that built a little hype, disappeared, faked his own little disappearance, and then came back, and now people care about it. There's just something about it that's, I don't know, in today's world, you can't trust it. Nothing feels organic, So hopefully this guy is the real deal, and he's trying to just fucking change the world. And someday we'll be all thanking him for doing what he did. But it's hard to believe that, in our hopeless world. All right, other random stuff I should talk about for no reason. A couple people that were pretty likable on podcasts recently that I didn't think I would like. One, Taylor Swift. She went on the Kelsey Brothers podcast, whatever that one's called. Never really listened. I've seen clips, of course, but I haven't listened to a whole episode. And my wife is a Swiftie, not a huge Swiftie, but she knows some songs she likes, or certain albums she likes and all that. And I'm always giving her shit because that's what a husband does. And I'm always like, fucking Taylor Swift is, you think she's a good songwriter, and I don't fucking know. I never listened to her, but I'm always talking shit. And anyway, I saw the clips of her on the Kelsey's podcast. And I'm like, God damn it, she's likable. She seems pretty fucking normal and likable. I don't like that shit. I prefer to be a hater. I wish I would have never seen her human side and seen that, she seems kind of normal given the situation of who she is. So anyway, that's my thought on T Swift. And then the other one, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden went on the 5th channel or News Channel 5, whatever the fuck it's called, Channel 5 News, with Andrew Callaghan. Is that his name? He's very good. I like all this stuff. Anyway, Hunter Biden goes on there, just starts talking about crack versus cocaine, and then a few conspiracy things, and then that Melania Trump was introduced to Trump through Epstein, and he's just saying some crazy shit. And now I view him as like, oh man, this is a fun gotta listen, just kind of go off or whatever. And then Democrats going like, sounds like a president to me. I'm like, y'all are fucking nuts. But I don't know. I did come across really liking Hunter Biden after his 2 appearances on this podcast. He does somewhat seem like a normal guy that just happened to get addicted to crack at one time and fucks with prostitutes and all. And I don't know what all of his allegations are, but I don't know. He does come across likable. I just wasn't expecting that. So shout out Hunter Biden out there. Go maybe get an art print. You can't get the original; it's too expensive. But maybe a print for pretty cheap. And then he was showing off his artwork, and part of you is like, "Well, this isn't good." But I think that all the time when I go to art museums with my wife. But then the part was like, "Well, I've been to art museums. I know some. That's basically like how some of this shit looks. So maybe it is good. I'm no art critic. I'm not laundering money through museums." And art pieces. That's a whole other world for me. Another one I think I can fit in here. Dave Blunt's and 50 Cent. Now, they have a beef going on. People don't know. 50 Cent, of course, the famous rapper, actor, mogul, extraordinaire, whatever. And I never really liked Dave Blunt's song. I know he helped Goes Right, the latest Kanye album. And that's really the reason I know. And he's really fat. And people make fun of him for that. And they'll be like, you got to quit with the lean. He's like, never. I'm 500 plus and I'm drinking the lean. And I respect that, if I had to be honest. But his beef with 50 Cent, he basically just keeps referencing that 50 Cent's baby mama got shat on at a Diddy party. But like 50 Cent wasn't with the baby mama. I think he called her out for these same things. I just don't know how dissing 50 Cent's baby mama is really a diss to 50 Cent when he's not with her. Like he's actively also hating on that woman. And but maybe Dave Blunt's just doing it for the clout. He doesn't really give a shit. He's like, well, I don't care if it makes sense. But people play his shit. I don't, it's not my thing. I'm old school, I guess. There's certain new acts I just can't quite figure out, if you will. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty fun. I've seen some man purses kind of making a comeback, or maybe they're in style now, or maybe they never were. I don't fucking know the terminology, but I've seen a couple guys with man purses and I feel uncomfortable by it. Like, what the fuck are we doing? There was a whole Friends episode about this and Joey kind of pulled it off, but not really. But yeah, I saw a guy with like a little, it was like this big. That's the thing. It wasn't like a back. If you have like a normal backpack, that's fine. But it was like a little satchel on his hip that wasn't like crossbody. And if it was a messenger bag, like the way a fucking mailman carries, I could forgive that. But it was like a little fucking, I don't know, it was a little purse basically. And I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing out here? So the world's crumbling. Our whole simulation's integrity is giving out every day. And maybe I'm just turning into an asshole that judges people, but this guy looked like me, like a biker dude or whatever. And it just was crazy. It was a crazy look. All right. I have some random other shit, but we'll save it. I feel like I've talked enough. Next week, I don't know. It'll probably be just me, but eventually I need to have another call in, maybe reach out to SoCo somewhat soon, see if we have some TV shows to talk about, all that stuff. If you ever want to write in the podcast, it's A2thaShow@gmail.com. And I will take any praise, feedback, questions, comments, concerns, all of that shit. The countdown is on for me until the end of September when my favorite game of all time, Remastered, comes back out. So I'm going to try to do shit that isn't video games as much until then so that I can have plenty of excuses to play the games. That's how it goes in my brain. And I know I shouldn't care, but I do care. I think it's just I do care. God damn it, I'm so bad. Don't let my wife hear this. And she won't. She don't listen. No, hopefully no one in my family listens to this. That's always the goal. But you can't stop them. I don't think YouTube lets me block them like that. All right, we're gonna end here on a song by me, A to the Mo. We'll see what all I keep in this episode. I always say that what I'll cut. I almost never cut anything because I just once listen back to it, I'm like, it isn't good. Don't get me wrong, but it would sound so much worse, I think, if I cut it and it just did a hard jump. So sorry out there, anyone sticking it through with me and my cotton mouth and my late night ramblings. And but shout out to you. You earned it. You earned the fandom. That's what I say. All right, so I'm going with by me is from my album Classy 2 that came out, I believe, in January of this year. So go back and listen to all my albums if you want, but maybe not all of them, but maybe anything after Portrait. I'm debating removing others from the streaming. We'll see what happens. No one listens, so it doesn't matter. All right, anyway, name of the song, Fuck With Me. Actually, it's FWM, but in my mind, it's Fuck With Me because that's what the letters stand for. And like I said, this is off of Classy A2. My album that the whole point of it was like, ooh, these are all sampled based. These are all sampled from vinyls and cool old shit. But almost everything I make these days is like in the last few months has been sampled based. So not even special anymore. But anyway, Classy 2, Fuck Me. Thanks for listening and fucking with me on this podcast. And I'm out. Peace until next week and all that.
You talking about what I'm smoking on, gon' have you tapping out. They talking, but I don't care what happened. I'm lying, shut the fuck up, you know them hoes rapping. Fuck with me, what the fuck you talking about? What I'm smoking on, gon' have you tapping out. They talking, but I don't care what happened. I'm lying, shut the fuck up, you know them hoes rapping. They like, damn. How I get so high? How do I come up with these lines? No lies, straight from my mind. So fresh, it's straight from the vine. And I'm designed like wine. Emotions bottled up. It keeps getting better with time. It's like forever I'm high. Forever throwing peace signs. Between genius and insanity, I seem to walk a fine line. I kept talking in rhyme, so I took that as my sign. And then I turned this to Mortal Kombat, start removing some spines. You know I remove all your pride. Like, man, I can't lie. I got this violent side that makes me want to remove your insides. It's M.O., no E unless I'm rolling like bikes. Like if you fuck with me, you might end up with an ass full of Nikes. So don't fuck with me. What the fuck you talking about? What I'm smoking on, gon' have you tapping out. For sure. They talking, but I don't care what happened. I'm lying, shut the fuck up, you know them hoes rapping. Fuck with me. What the fuck you talking about? What I'm smoking on, gon' have you tapping out. They talking, but I don't care what happened. I'm lying, shut the fuck up, you know them hoes rapping. I got so much swag, my black friends call me the N-word. No need to be fake, find yourself, just look inward. I can't waste any time worried about some haters, cause the rap game suits me like I got it tailored. I sit backwards in my chair like AC Slater. We been smoking so much grass, it's almost like an acre. Just give me one shot, I do not need a chaser. Just an 8-ball, a razor, an ounce, and some papers. I'm so fucking mad, man, like Rap Don Draper. Cause the plan was stick to paper like a goddamn stapler. That's cliche as fuck, don't mean it ain't true. Who we kin, y'all know what y'all ain't gonna do. Come on. And that's fuck with me. What the fuck you talking about? What I'm smoking on.